So today I'm going to do a really clean, fresh, glowing skin look. So this is just all about the skin. Obviously you can do whatever other makeup you want on top, whether you want to do bright lips or eyeliner or crazy makeup, whatever. This is just about getting that really clean, beautiful looking skin. So this look is all about the glow, but there is a difference between sort of greasy skin and glowing skin. It is quite different. There's good shine and ugly shine, I always say. So because I am naturally quite oily, I'm going to use a very mattifying sunblock first. This is Heliocare and this is the gel oil free. I'm going to use this all over, and this will just help to keep the sort of center of my face particularly not too shiny, because when you want to go for that really glowing effect, you don't want it to be completely all over the face. So this is not a no makeup look. This is going to definitely look like makeup, but just have a very clean and glowing finish. So I'm going to start by using the Cogendoe Aqua foundation, and this gives really good coverage. It's about a medium coverage, I'd say. You can sheer it out if you've got really good skin. I'm going to use it kind of mainly around the center of my face and then buff out. So the finish here is not too matte, not too shiny. It's kind of natural. And then depending on your skin type, you could use some powder or not. But these types of kind of very fine, almost HD type of liquid foundation, so very, very fine pigments, if you buff them really well into the skin and blend them really well and just don't overload them, you can get a really perfected look but still have texture to the skin, and that's what's so important. If you're going for that really clean, natural look, you want to look kind of evened out, and obviously like your skin is great, but at the same time you want it to look like skin as well. So good places not to cake are around the nose, sort of here, because you start to sort of see the makeup in the pores, because most people have a few pores just on the sort of to the sides of the nose. So by keeping it sort of as thinned out as possible, particularly on the areas of your face where you just have good skin naturally. So if you're somebody that has a lot of kind of blemishes around the chin but you don't have them on other areas of the face, then you don't need to kind of cake away. So I'll powder my T-zone, but I'm going to leave it for the moment. So the next thing I'm going to do is the illuminator or the highlighter. I'm going to use these illuminating drops by Cover FX. These come in lots of different shades, and the colour that you choose is really important. So it has to be something that, it's not a no makeup look, so it should look like highlighter, but it needs to be the right shade for your skin so that it doesn't jar, it doesn't look like totally either too white or too luminous or just too metallic. So this shade I think is going to be good for my skin tone. And then just start to work that in. And while you've still got your base on, which is nice and kind of warmed up with your skin, this should just melt. Whether it's a cream or a liquid, should just start to melt into the skin. And again, you can use your brush if you want to kind of blend away. Make sure you can't see where it begins and where it ends. Just keep patting. It'll touch down my nose. Personally, I don't like it on the tip of the nose because it looks too obvious, but I like it across the bridge. Just blended. And don't worry if you're buffing it off any blemishes, because we haven't concealed yet, so it's not a problem. This is about the skin. Top of the lips. Even just like a little touch above the high point of the brow, but very subtle. There, and just buff in. And then I'm just going to add a little bit more at the centre there. Okay, so the next thing to do will be blush, but if you have any spots on your cheeks or blemishes, then you should go ahead and do your concealing now. I don't really have any blemishes here. I've got a couple here and a couple around the side of my face. So I'm going to go on to cream blush now. But as I say, if you do have spots here, then you can use a powder blush later. So I'm going to use a cream blush in this sort of pinky shade. And I'm going to just add one dab of the highlighter into it. Not much, so it's mainly cream blush, but I just got a tiny bit of the highlighter and just start to work into the skin. And just keep patting. If you really want to use a sponge, you can for this. If you have just one spot there, don't worry, you can always come back and conceal. And you don't want to come too close to this sort of area, so have it stop really about the center of your eyes as you're looking straight ahead, and then just blend into the skin. And again, for the shade of blush you use, just something which is really enhancing to your skin tone. So nothing, if you're very fair, the more pastel-y colours will look good, because with a little bit of white in. Otherwise, the richer tones look better, particularly with olive skins and dark skins. You want those really deep, rich pinks, you know, that really sort of bring life to the face. So really adapt the colour to suit your skin tone. And I do have a little bit of pink undertones in my skin, so this kind of warm pink just melts into my skin. So next I'm going to use some under eye concealer. I'm going to use this Bourjois one. And just pat that underneath any dark areas and into the inner corner. This one is slightly radiant as well, so as well as lifting those shadows, it's going to give a little bit of light reflection, particularly at the inner corners there. And it's not too heavy, so again, if this is well buffed in and well blended in, it will do its job without looking like I've caked on a ton of concealer. And then towards the edges of it, I can use the brush and just work it in with the heat of the skin, have it melt into the illuminator. And then using the same concealer, just going to put a little bit there, just to kind of add a little beam of light. But I don't want to put the illuminator there, particularly on me, because I'm shiny there anyway. But just lift, touch, just in the center, just a little dip in the chin there. I'm going to just put a little bit more of the highlighter from before on my lip, which just seems to have blended in completely and gone away. So next I'm going to do some proper concealing, so things like this little thing that I just squeezed before. And this is a heavy coverage concealer, just to take away that completely. And this is what I call the Eldridge technique for the concealing. I've done a whole video about it, which I'll link to. And I've also done the same type of video if you're struggling with acne and you want to cover them, but you don't want to have that real super kind of heavy, cakey face. And then just go around and conceal anything that's bothering you. And I've just had a big squeeze before, I must admit. I went and I think it's because I'm in, you know, when I'm filming, I'm looking into a mirror a lot and I start to analyse things, and the next thing I start squeezing things right before I film, which is really silly, I know. So now I'm going to go back in with concealer, because if you put it, you know, not too much on in the beginning, you let it settle in and then you realise that, oh, I just need a touch more. But better to build up slowly, I think, as the makeup's going along, and kind of just, you know, put a whole blanket on right at the beginning. So I'm just going to put a touch more and blend that well into the skin. And at the same time, I'm actually going to set that with powder. So just get my loose powder and just set. So I'm just going to take it onto the areas where I want to get rid of the shine and I want to set the concealer. So around this area, end of my nose, which gets quite oily on me, here. And at the same time, I'm just checking that there's no kind of heaviness anywhere. So check like round here. You know, you can take a little Q-tip if you like and just make sure that there's not too much makeup there so it looks really, really clean. I'll just pat, 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 tap in, and then set that. And then a little bit, for me, powder here. That always gets shiny on me. I'm going to leave it on the bridge of the nose, leave it all here, and then just around this area of the chin as well. And if you're very oily, you can use a little puff and just press the powder really into the skin and then buff off. Just to set everything nicely, but without destroying the glow. And then if you felt that you couldn't live without contouring, either do it now while you're kind of still, if you haven't used any powder, you could use a cream contour. Actually, before you powder, you could use a cream contour, but just really blend it in really well so you almost can't see it on the skin. Or if you were powdering all over, you could go in with a powder contour or a little bit of bronzer if you felt that you want to be a little bit warmer. But it's just about having this very clean, very fresh and very glowing and highlighted skin. And then just finish off with whatever makeup you're going to be wearing that day. So whether you're going to be just keeping the look overall natural, maybe just brows and mascara and light lipstick, or whether you're going to be wearing a really strong lip colour or lashes, or doing what I've done today, which is just my kind of signature going out look or my event look. I've been wearing this look a lot recently. It's my kitten flick liner. But I think whatever look you're doing, if you keep that skin really clean and beautiful and natural looking, the overall look will always look just really, really modern, in my opinion, and always look better. So hope that was helpful, and I'll see you soon.